Hello and welcome. As you probably guessed, I am MotherAzure, but you can also call me Maria. I am back again with another pick-a card. For today's video, we're going to be looking into what your psychic or spiritual abilities are. As you can see here, I have the Archangel Oracle from Doreen Virtue. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want to make it clear that I don't agree with her with what she has done, but I'm using the deck because it's it was my first Oracle deck, and it has some of the cards they mention declares, right? Clairaudience, claircognizance, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. I'm using that because of this, but I'm going to be looking at those abilities with other cards as well. So I'm not going to be focusing only on the clairs, just anything that comes through. From my understanding, people usually have more than one. One tends to be more dominant, but you have many, and not all of them are just the clairs. There are more types of psychic abilities, and they may not have a formal name, okay? So whatever comes through here, even if you feel like you don't have them, maybe they're coming through because you could have them, and you should look, and if you're interested, you should probably look into trying to develop them, and that's probably why they're coming up, okay? So without further ado, let's get into your pile. So for pile 1, you have the bumblebee. For pile 2, you have the hummingbird. And for pile 3, you have the dragonfly. Hello for your pile 1 with a bumblebee. This is your reading. I'm going to put the bumblebee right there. And I'm going to start shuffling right now. If you want to skip it, you can go ahead and do that. Sometimes I do talk while I'm shuffling, and sometimes it's part of the message, but it's up to you. Use your intuition, okay? So I'm going to put these away for a second, and then I'm going to bring them out, because these are supposed to have, well, they're not supposed to have, maybe they have the actual cards from this deck that mention the clairs, but I want to shuffle tarot first. So for this reading, I have 2 tarot decks, which is unusual because I usually use just one tarot deck and many oracle decks, but for this reading, I felt like using one card from each tarot deck, which is interesting. So let's see, what are pile 1's spiritual and or psychic gifts? Well, let's chill for a second. So you got, I'm gonna take these 2 because they're the ones that I saw. I wanted just one, but that's okay, I guess. So you got the Death card, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. Well, it's already not going as planned, so should I get another one of these? Okay, that's fine. I think that maybe they want to use that other deck for a specific pile, which I'm curious about why there's a reason why they're doing that, but okay. So let me keep shuffling the other cards. These are the Awake Inner Wisdom cards. These are the Light Seers Tarot. What are your psychic gifts? Shine on. Let me see. Grab one of these from the Starseed Oracle. Okay. Star family, you're part of a team of souls. And now these 2 you got. Hello from heaven, Archangel Azrael. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. This is interesting. Now, this deck is mostly Christian based, because if from my understanding, Doreen Virtue was like a Christian. I don't even know what she was. She's Christian now, again, it doesn't matter. But that's why I'm reading it. You don't have to agree with it. It's just to help me find what your gifts are. So this one says, Angel Therapy, Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. Okay, so I'm seeing already the connection here between the Death card and this Hello from Heaven. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I feel like one of your psychic gifts here would be to, I would say, a form of necromancy. Now, necromancy is working with dead people. You're not necessarily reviving them, but it's most like you probably have interacted with and seen a lot of people that have passed on throughout your life. And you actually have this gift to see them and communicate with them in a way. You might actually have, I'm feeling a lot of claircognizance for you. So you may not see them necessarily, you could, but it's mostly like you know they're there and you know their message. And the main reason this specific psychic ability is coming through the most is because I feel it's the strongest for you. And the reason you have it is most likely so you can help those spirits, families, if they're living, like if they were human spirits, you can help communicate that message to their family, to their loved ones. But also you can communicate with your own family members specifically. So I feel like when people have the idea of a medium, the type of people that they think about and the type of abilities that they showcase, that's what you have mostly. It's not the only one. I have more here, but that's the main one that's coming through. So as a result of that, you are very sensitive and very empathic, almost to a fault, because the thing that I'm seeing with this card, pardon me, of angel therapy, it almost feels like you are so empathetic that you may absorb people's emotions in that moment. So if they're feeling a negative emotion like sadness, anger, fear, you tend to absorb it and almost take it away from them. So they feel fine because they start feeling well because you took away that emotion. You absorb it for yourself. So you kind of relieve them of that emotion, but the result is that you start feeling it. And with that coming through, I am going to recommend that you work on some protection for yourself. Anything can be protected. It can be a symbol, a necklace. It can literally be anything. Just just see what you gravitate towards. So it can help you not absorb the emotions. Now, you helping them become relieved of them is not of the emotions, not necessarily bad. What's not good is if you absorb these emotions and you don't realize that they're not yours. So you stay in that. Like, you may feel like there's something wrong with you because you don't know where these emotions are coming from. And in reality, it's pretty much an emotion contagion. So you're absorbing it from someone else. But the difference is that they feel relieved from them after they're in your presence in a way. So you have this very grounding energy. People may naturally gravitate towards you because they feel that empathy. And some of them, I would say the majority of them, they don't do it consciously. There's something they do subconsciously where they feel the energy that you have and they gravitate towards you. And they may, actually there may be people in your life that come into your life and come talk to you only when they're feeling down, because they know that after they stop talking to you, they feel better. They may not know exactly why that happens, but it does. So you may end up feeling pretty used by people sometimes, but they are using you in a way. But now that you know about it, if you weren't aware of it, it's gonna help you not feel like that and not let them use you either, because yes, it's good to help them, but it's not good to basically put yourself aside just to help people. Because if you put yourself aside, you can't keep helping people if that's what you want to do. And second, you just feel horrible because all these negative emotions, you're absorbing them. And it's not all bad, because this can also happen with other emotions. And the reason I mentioned emotion contagion is because it's reminding me of that specific thing. This is like a psychological concept. It's reminding me of it. So it literally may be just a human condition and you are more aware, but who's to say that the science is not, if that science is not also spiritual in a way, right? So let me see what else I get from here. So you got 2 of the pentacles here. You have the Queen and the Page. They're both court cards. And it's interesting to me that, they both have their eyes closed, but they're looking away from each other. But here's the thing. I feel like there's this, like I mentioned with the empathy, you may be able to connect to people that are very far away from you, literally in other countries, and they feel something and you feel it as well. And it's almost like, how people say that twins, for example, have this ability where if one twin feels an emotion or is in danger, the other twin feels it. It's almost like that, but not with a twin that you have. hey, maybe you do, but like with other people, maybe friends, other family members, it feels like that, and you feel it. It's more like you feel it, because what I'm seeing here with the eyes closed is that this is more about sensation and knowing, that actually seeing or hearing about it. It's more knowing and feeling, right? You may see sometimes, but I don't feel like it's your strongest suit here. It could be, but mostly what's coming through is the feeling and the knowing here. Oh, I forgot you had Star Family here. So if you don't know, like my setup, I have a microphone like to my left right here, so you can hear me better, and it kind of covers the card. So I'm mostly just looking at this side, and I completely forgot that this was here. So yes, you are able to really connect to people. And remember, like, because of the theme of the reading, I'm mostly not really looking at the actual interpretation of the cards, because I'm trying to look at something else. So I'm interpreting, so that's why I'm not exactly focusing on that part. From my understanding, we all have a star family, so you may feel more connected to certain people than others. And it's almost like you may feel like they complete you in a way. That's probably your star family, soul family, whatever you want to call it. But there's that connection here. So it's almost like you are, how do I explain this? I don't even know what word I want to use for this. I'm hearing passageway, so it's almost like you're a passageway. Now, that probably sounds weird, but it's like, because of this nature that you have, it's almost like you are someone standing at a crossroads, and you're not sure why you're there, but a lot of people pass by and you end up helping them. So that's what I mean when I mentioned passageway. I'm actually having chills. So it's like you can be a bridge between this side and the other side, but you can also be a bridge between people. So that's the versatility of this gift that you have of empathy, because you're able to feel people who are not here anymore, other types of spirits, but also people in your life, and you're able to help them. Now with Shine On, I hadn't looked at it like this. I was like, what is that? So those are I think dandelions, maybe. But with Shine On here, I really feel like, and the Death card. So before I even started doing the video for today, I had this feeling that there were gonna be in the video a lot of people who were shadow workers. Now you may have heard of the term light worker, because a lot of people use it. People don't really talk about shadow workers. They're not bad because it's called shadow workers. It's mostly that those people, let's say the light worker kind of is supposed to help people raise their vibration and get them out of a specific situation that they're in, or just help them. I don't even know how to explain it, but the point is that the shadow worker for me is someone, from my understanding, is someone that meets people where they are, even if they are very down, down in the slums, kind of like that, and you help them in that moment, right? So kind of like your job is to help them there and kind of hand them over to a light worker or someone else, or just themselves, that would complete the work. So it's kind of like you're in the middle. You're like a middleman in a lot of ways. And you may actually be quite talented at literally therapy. You may be a really good therapist, psychologist. I wouldn't be surprised if you had strong Pluto placements in your chart, like your birth chart. So for me, it feels more like you are in the middle, and there may be people on this side that are helping people that come through you get completely out of what they're doing. There may be people over here that got them to that place in the beginning, and then there's you right in the middle. It's kind of guiding them exactly towards where they need to go, and I think that's literal in the sense of the spirits. So you may actually end up working with spirits in a form of necromancy. Necromancy could be just literally talking to spirits. There are people that are into witchcraft that I know of that they call themselves death witches, and many of them, from my understanding of what I've seen, they work with the spirits to help them cross over. So that may something like that may be in your path because of these gifts that are gonna allow you to do that. So I feel like really what you need to hone in the most, because these gifts cause you negative emotions and you may not really realize that they're not always yours. What you need to focus on is learning to differentiate between what's you and what's other people, and that's going to help you both feel better and actually help others, living and dead. Okay, so there's this need to ground down and learn to recognize you versus other people. So kind of separate. Even though you are this empathetic being, it's important that you learn to separate so you don't become as affected by this as you are right now. Okay, so that's probably something that you should work on, but that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. Let me see if I get something else. Give me a second. I want to clarify something because that's coming up. So the way I said that people feel attracted to you because they make them feel better, don't feel like you're a rehabilitation center, and do not allow people into your life that you do not feel comfortable with them being there, because it's very easy from these gifts to become derailed and feel like you have to help absolutely everyone and you need to allow these people here because it's your job. No, this should never be to your discomfort, because I'm specifically seeing a situation. This may not be for you, but I'm going to use it as an example. If it is, take it. If not, disregard it. Someone that your exes, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex-whatevers, they come back to you often. And you may feel like you have to because you want to help them, but they end up hurting you. Now, you don't have to do that. That's not your job. If they wanted to be helped, if they wanted actually to evolve and grow, they wouldn't be coming back to you 5-7 times, right? They would actually take the advice and whatever it is that you helped them with the first time and move on. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone can get it at one time and keep going, but you don't have to pull yourself apart for people. Okay, that's the most important thing here. You help, but you are not a rehabilitation center. You're a human, you're a person, and you do not have to suffer through this, right? So if you are uncomfortable, don't make yourself stay uncomfortable. Don't allow yourself to stay uncomfortable. Don't allow other people to make you uncomfortable just because you feel this responsibility to help them. It's good to help them, but you also need to help yourself. Okay? That's very important here. But I think that's all that's coming through. That's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all of my updates up at the channel over there. And I also post readings occasionally. Actually, I want to post one today. Let's see what I do. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Hello, for pal 2 with the hummingbird is your reading. I was about to say Bumblebee again. If you feel called to watch pile 1, go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna look into these in a second. I want to shuffle first. If you want to skip the shuffling, I'm gonna put a link, not a link, a timestamp in the description. But yeah, no, it's this one for you. Yeah, I'm gonna explain. If you want to skip it, you can go ahead and do that. Sometimes I speak while I'm shuffling, and sometimes it's part of the message, but up to you. The reason I did that just now is because I actually have 2 decks. I felt like using 2 decks, but when I want to use both of them at the same time, it's more like they want that deck for a specific pile. It may be for pile 3 because I haven't used it yet. So let's see where your psychic abilities, spiritual gifts are. So let's see at least 3 cards. Oh, there goes the first one. What? Death and Rebirth. Definitely, if you want to watch pile 1, go ahead and do it, because this was the first card that came up for pile 1, and I shuffled off camera to make sure that the cards were well shuffled. But that one came out again. Like, you see how I shuffle, right? I do this and then I shuffle the other way. So they should be well shuffled. There's no reason they should come up. The exact same cards should come up in the same position unless it's meant to. So definitely recommend watching pile 1. Ooh. 2 of Swords. They were not lying when they said that I was gonna see a lot of shadow workers here. I'm gonna explain in a second what that means. If you haven't heard of the term, it's nothing bad. Like, and 10 of Pentacles, yep. Let's see. Let me get one of these for you. Oh my god. Heal and Shine. That was fast. And... okay, wait, hold on. Never mind. They want to use one of these for you. So one of these for pile 2. Where is the psychic gifts? 3 of Pentacles. This one says 3 of Boons, but that's just the name they have here. For the Pentacles in that deck. That's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. There's Light Seer's Tarot, Awakener Wisdom cards, Starseed Oracle. Let's see. Ooh. This one wanted to come out. But it didn't. I'm gonna put it back, but I want to mention it's a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. If you have been waiting for something, that's your sign that it's coming. This one says, I'm sorry, defenselessness, riding past wrongs and uprooting. Holy shit. Yep. They weren't lying. Not that they lie, but sometimes I feel stuff and I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's part of the reading, if it's relevant or not. So I just kind of push it aside and wait until I actually do this. And most of the time they are, they're doing that. So the cards that you got are Clear Audience, Archangel Zadkiel, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. And this one says, brilliant idea, Archangel Uriel. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. I think that's connected to the new Earth card that came up. I think it's right here. Yeah, it's still right here. This one. So definitely if you were thinking about doing something, or if you did something and you're waiting for the results, they're coming up pretty soon. It's interesting that this is coming up in your reading. Because this reading is not about any message that they have for you specifically. It's just about psychic gifts. But I feel like the reason that's coming through is because, and the main reason you're here is that you feel very disconnected from your psychic abilities pretty often. And the reason that's happening here, it's at least the way that it's coming through, is that you have been through a lot of darkness in your life. A lot of bad things have happened to you, and so your intuition gets muffled out. That's the word that's the specific word they're using, muffled, for some reason, by fear, doubts, mistrust of your own intuition. Maybe sometimes you have felt like your intuition has led you astray, or like you simply don't have good intuition. I don't think that's the case, because you literally have clairaudience here. So I'm going to mention about the shadow worker that I mentioned in the beginning, because if you don't know what it is, you're probably like, what the fuck does that mean? So if you have been in the spiritual community at all, you have heard about light workers. Now, I'm not even sure what it means. I never looked into it. I don't consider myself a light worker. Now, shadow workers, from my understanding and what I've seen people talking about this, so I could be wrong, this is just what I've heard, is like, you work with the darkest parts of humans, like in the human psyche, the emotions. You can, like, with a light worker, maybe they're able, like, their main job is to help people raise their vibrations and whatever not, or just I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you tend to work more, and I feel like shadow workers tend to be therapists. They tend to be people who work at rehabilitation centers, work with addicts. They kind of work with people, with the underdog, people who are struggling in that moment. And for me, like, the light workers, what I feel like this is like, once these people are treated as they are, they kind of grab their hand and move them forward in another way. So they're kind of in for me, the shadow worker is mostly in the middle, in a way, or just working with a different type of people, or a different people who are in a different state of mind that a light worker would not work with because they can't. Right? So you kind of specialize more in that in a way. Because what I'm seeing here is that, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people who have talked about shadow workers, and people that claim to be shadow workers, they identify as that, they have been through a lot before in their lives. So it's kind of like you have gone through all of these negative events in your life, negative emotions, bad interactions with people, and you kind of come out of that in a way. You never really come out sometimes. It's difficult. But once you are mostly out, you can see the darkness in other people more easily. So you can see where they're struggling and you can help them a lot better than if you hadn't gone through those experiences. Now, I'm not saying that what happened to you happened for a reason. Sometimes shit happens for no other reason than other people's actions that you had no control over, that are not in any way your fault. But it's up to you what meaning you assign to it, because as humans we kind of assign meaning to a lot of stuff. So it's up to you if you're gonna from those experiences, if you're gonna the way you're gonna interpret them is that you are a better person and you deserve that. And that's usually what we do in the beginning in those types of situations. But then later on, the meaning you can assign to it is that, hey, this happened, it was unfortunate, it hurt, I'm still hurt, but there are other people like me and I can help them. So you can think about it that way. Now the main reason that part about the new start came through, like I said, I feel like you often feel blocked from your psychic abilities, and I think that's very much showcased here with the Two of Swords, because she has her eyes covered. Or maybe you don't think that you have the usual abilities like people talk about, and they're like, oh, I'm a medium, I see, I hear, I can talk to spirits, and you're like, I can't fucking do that. So hey, maybe I'm not a psychic, I'm not. Yes, you are. Your gifts are just very different. Now you got, well, not everyone has, like, in my opinion, they have their own set of gifts. Some of them are unique, some of them are not really unique. Like, a lot of people have clairaudience, but you have a unique way in which it happens to you. So some people may have clairaudience in the sense that they hear spirits and other beings and whatever they are, like you're hearing me right now talk. For other people, like for me, clairaudience feels more like a kind of like a voice in your mind. Like, it's not outside, it's coming from inside, but you can feel distinctly that it's not your voice. And see, you may have this issue as well, like me, where you're like, okay, so maybe I'm just fucking insane and like I'm just hearing voices and I'm hallucinating. But the problem is that when the voices are telling you stuff that you had no way of knowing, that's how you know it's not fucking like psychosis, because you shouldn't know that stuff. So I think that the way that you confirm that this is not a mental illness, if that's something that you have thought about, is that, figuring out, have those voices told you things that you should not know in any way? And I mean knowledge that you should have absolutely no means of knowing. Okay, so like knowing about a dead relative that like passed away, I don't know, hundreds of years before you were born, or that you never met, that no one talked to you about. If you know about them, there it is. So that's the kind of stuff, because I feel like you have a lot of self-doubt here. Now you do have that clairaudience that's here, and that's also here in that Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords, she has her eyes covered, but there are these two crows kind of next to her talking on both sides. And crows talk, okay? They actually talk like humans, they imitate humans. So the thing is that this clairaudience may be kind of scary to you, and you may not always trust it, like I said. And it can sometimes confuse you a lot, because I really feel like you may actually not see anything. Like, you may not be someone that has clairvoyance at all, okay? You mostly hear. you could have a lot of clear knowing as well. This is why I think that it may be related to pile one, because that came through as well. Because with this brilliant idea, yes, your idea was divinely guided. When you have like this sudden idea, it makes me think of claircognizance, like you know that you should do this and it's gonna come out well, or you know the answer to this problem and stuff like that. I feel like you do have that claircognizance, but your strongest ability here, it's your hearing. So your clear hearing, you can hear well. Okay, claircognizance means clear knowing. Okay, now this card always reminds me of ancestors, so you may do actually a lot of ancestral work. And like I said, the main reason I think this is connected to pile one is this card, because the reason I'm interpreting this card for this reading, of course, because I have to kind of interpret based on what I'm asking. This card for me definitely talks about necromancy, and necromancy doesn't mean like reviving corpses and stuff like that. It's just working with people who are no longer alive, and other spirits as well, as far as I'm concerned. With this, I'm sorry though, you may have, now this is more specific than just seeing people and seeing dead people and helping them. This is more like, yes, you can do that, but mostly you can help people, like living people, heal, like kind of guide them through. I'm almost seeing hypnosis, okay? That may not be for all of you, but I'm almost seeing like hypnosis. Like you may be you can become one of those practitioners that kind of help other people with their past lives, and like to clear things from their past lives that may be affecting them in this life, if you believe in that. Like it really depends, I guess. Or to clear things from their past, maybe not necessarily a past life, this past. So you kind of help remove those blockages from the past. You're very good at that. I really feel like, and you may be able to help as well with healing issues that people have had coming from their ancestors that kind of obviously seeped in to their current lifetime, both through, because I mean things are passed down genetically and environmentally, but also spiritually, at least that's my belief. And you can help with that a lot, like a whole lot. And there's a lot here about the righting past wrongs. I don't like to think about atonement, because atonement is like a very specific thing that other religious people talk about, and I don't necessarily agree with it in that way. But it's like with the righting past wrongs, I feel like you can help others as well, and you as well can help yourself do this. Kind of, I'm hearing like accept an apology you never got. So with the writing past wrongs, it may be as well actually taking action towards becoming a better person, but it's mostly working with things from the past. So maybe you meet someone and you have you instantly know what happened to them in the past and literally what they have to do to fix it. That may be something for you. If you're not feeling it right now, it's because it needs to be developed, because I am feeling that blockage here in your reading. You got heal and shine. So like these abilities that you have, they're mostly there so you can heal obviously yourself, others as well. But I feel like this for you specifically, yes, you can help other people, but this is for you, it's more like these abilities, they're gonna help you more within your own family unit. So because with the Ten of Pentacles talks about many things, but one of them is literally you have a family here. And this reminds me here of the family tree. This is the tree of life actually, but it's this connection to your current living relatives, your ancestors. This card also talks about inheritance. So for you, it's mostly about you. Literally, it's about you. And you don't have to always use your abilities to help others. Of course, that's good if you do, if you feel called to do it. If you don't, that's completely okay. You don't have to feel forced to do any of that. But it's mostly, again, for you. So if you start working right now, you may feel called to work with your ancestors, literally like set up an altar for them or give them offerings. Usually ancestors, they go well with like water, alcohol sometimes, some foods if you want, but that's up to you, whatever it is that you believe in. Also with this Three of Pentacles right here, you may actually be very good at how do I say this? There's manifestation here that's coming through, but it's not exactly that either. Like, well, it is manifestation, but like you're very good, I feel like, at manipulating energies. So if you actually chose a path of witchcraft, like becoming a practitioner of witchcraft or something similar, paganism, any of that, you would be really good at literally specifically using tools to direct your energy and manifest what it is that you want into your life. Because at the end of the day, magic and witchcraft is just manipulating energy in one way or another, right? And I feel like you'll be very good at that. And I'm just noticing, like, I didn't notice this at first. There are 2 crows in this card. Now, the suit of swords in this deck has crows. Those are the animals here. But in this deck, that's not the case. And the Three of Boons has a crow. I didn't even notice that this crow was here because I was looking at the other area. Like, that happens to me a lot. I just start talking and I barely look at the crows. Yes, I'm looking at them, but it's almost like I'm detached from this. I'm towards the back of my mind almost while I'm seeing this stuff. But with the crows, this is interesting because crows sometimes are a symbol of bad luck in many cultures. They may be seen as a harbinger of almost death or bad news. And I feel like it's a very good animal to have in your reading, regardless of what I just said, because in a way, you're very much like the crow. Not in the sense that you bring death or you bring harm, but like you have this bad reputation about you, or a certain way that you think you are, or you kind of seem to be this dark entity in a way, and people may be actually intimidated by your energy, and it's because you have been through so much and you can see right through them. But you are not evil, you're just you. Like, does that make sense? So you may be someone that has pushed their darkness down a lot, but the thing is that it's not bad. Just because it's dark doesn't mean it's bad. Oh, there it is. I remembered. So the thing with helping other people, you will be very good at shadow work. Now, shadow work is, yes, I mentioned shadow workers, but specifically this is another thing. It's a psychological term. So shadow work, based on what I believe it was Carl Jung that mentioned this, but I can't remember if you tried to, like, I couldn't remember even if I tried. And it's working with the aspects of yourself that you have repressed, in one way or another for whatever reason. And they're usually anger, sadness, trauma, anything that has happened that you have pushed down. You would be very good at working in that yourself if you tried, and helping other people with it. So I come back to the fact that you would be a very good psychologist and therapist or something like that. So you can help people in that sense. So, I mean, it's right here. Oh my God, I just remembered. Like, I mentioned pile 1 like 700 times, but again, they got a card that says shine on, and you got heal and shine. So there's definitely a connection here. I would 100% recommend that you watch that one. It may have a lot more for you. And hold on. Writing. You're very good at manifesting when you write. So you doing automatic writing, it's going to be very good for you. It's going to work a lot better than other methods of manifestation, or just actually when you do your shadow work, in that sense of working with that part of yourself, doing it in journaling, so writing about it, it's gonna help you a lot more. This may actually go as far as talking about you writing a book or writing for other people, like a blog, and in that way you help yourself while also helping others that come across it. Okay, that's mostly what I'm seeing here. So that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all of my others about the channel over there, and I sometimes post readings as well. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it's always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Hello for Pile 3. With the Dragonfly that you're reading, somehow I got interesting. So I'm gonna put them right there. I got like the this sense of a flash of light on my eyes right now. If that has happened to you before, let me know, because that has never happened to me. You may have a very active third eye, which already talks about a lot of psychic gifts. So you may have literally more than one and several that are dominant instead of just one that you use the most. But mostly your sight, right? Sorry. Okay, so with your permission, let me tap into your energy to see what's going on here. I'm going to use the tarot first. I'm going to start shuffling. If you want to skip the shuffling, you can go ahead and do that. Sometimes I do get messages while I'm shuffling. So you know what? I'm just going to fuck it. You know what? I'm going to do it another way. I don't know why your pile is like this. So I'm just going to, well, shit. Clairvoyance, gifts from God. See, no, this is what I meant. So you have more than one that's dominant. So gift from God, Archangels hand of fun. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. And the other one is literally clairvoyance. Archangel Raziel, I'm helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. I was gonna say that what I'm feeling there's this cold kind of in my forehead right now. Or there was. It's gone now. So I feel like you already know you have gifts in a way, but your sight, your clairvoyance specifically, is developing a lot right now, and you may not feel ready for it. It may have caught you off guard. So you may have started seeing stuff all of a sudden, or if you had seen things before, it's gotten very, it's been more often that it happens. It happens more often, right? But you have many gifts that you already used. I think we all have many gifts, but usually there's one that's dominant, and either you have many that are dominant, or they're all on the same level and you haven't really developed the one that's going to be the most dominant for you. And I really feel like it's clairvoyance. Like, it's right there. So let's see with the cards. Let's see what's going on. So water pile 3's gift. I need 3. Those are too many. I'm seeing there may be specifically literally 3, right? That you know that you have, yeah, or that you have used. I think that one of them doesn't have a formal name. Confirm if that's true, because like there's clairvoyance, there's clairsentience, there's clairaudience, there's cognizance, there's all of that. They are called the clairs for a reason. So it's just clear something, clear here and clear knowing. But you may have one that you don't know the name of, because it's something that you do that you haven't seen other people do, or you experience it in a way that it's not like other people experience it. So I think that a lot of us have it, but it's usually we don't even recognize it as a gift because it's not what we consider a gift. It's weird. So for example, me, I have this thing where I will become interested in a topic or find out about something a few days before something related to it happens. So for example, how do I explain this? Like, I don't even know what to say. So there was this, I'm very like into true crime and stuff like that. Yes, I know, but people are like, oh, that's low vibrational. I don't give a fuck. I like it. And maybe this is for you as well. Maybe it's something that you have seen happens to you. So if it is exactly what the gift that you have, let me know, because I haven't seen anyone have this before, or at least mention it the way that I do. So I was very into true crime, and there was this specific person that was murdered, and he was unidentified. And the first and last time I actually heard about that case was in like 2015, 2016. And I didn't think about it again because it really upset me. It was a case that really upset me. But then all of a sudden, I think it was last year or the year before, I suddenly remembered the case, and I was like, let me check. And he had been identified at least a year before I actually looked into it. But the thing is that the day I looked him up, it would have been a few days before his birthday. So the victim's birthday was a few days away from the day that I remembered. And that has happened with other stuff like that as well, because like I said, I watch a lot of true crime. Like one time there was another identified victim, and I suddenly learned about them and started looking into it, and a few days later they came out with an article, a news article with updated forensic pictures, the ones that they make in computers. That has happened to me a lot recently, and I don't know why. So like if I learn about something, I kind of brace myself, because like a few days later something related to it is going to happen. So it's almost prophetic in a way, but not in the sense that I'm seeing visions, that I'm seeing stuff. It's just like, I don't know, it's almost like feeling, I don't even know how to explain it. See what I mean? That I don't have a word for it, and I don't really share or talk about it, and didn't even notice it was a pattern until recently. So I'm sure it has happened before, but I just recently noticed that it happened a lot. So your gift that you are not sure what the name is, may be like that, maybe exactly that one, but it could be anything. I'm using it as an example, but if it's something that you experience, like, what's up? Me too. So you got the King of Pentacles. That's interesting because, so here's the thing. I have 4 candles on my altar. For each of my guides, like I have 4 main guides that I work with. One of them is, from my understanding, he's like a nature spirit. He's not exactly a human spirit. He appears to me as a wolf, a black wolf. And I had issues with his candle before I started the reading. Like his candle, it wasn't working very well, but I'm pretty sure it's a candle. And I just looked over there, and I'm pretty sure his candle blew out like on its own. And before I started your reading, the moment I got the flash of white was when I noticed that candle. And the King of Pentacles has a wolf right here that looks a lot like my... So to be honest, there may be a message in this reading for me, but we'll see. If this could be, if it's not one of your literal guides, if one of your guides doesn't appear like this, this could be just a message, like a general message to look into the spiritual meaning of wolves, or you may have seen wolves recently around your home specifically. I don't know where the fuck you live. Or just a spiritual meaning in general. So look into it if you are interested, because that's very interesting. Now you got the 7 of Swords. Let's get one more for you. See what I mean? Like I tell people like, oh, you can skip the shuffling, but like many times I just start getting stuff immediately. And the 9 of Wands. Let's see what other spiritual gifts you have. One more from here, please. Unseen. Sorry, that's kind of funny with the clairvoyance, and then you get unseen. I think this is talking about as well that you see the unseen, but also it may be developing now. It may be becoming more prominent right now. And like there's still more for you to see, in that sense that you are not seeing the full thing. So you like literally may be able to see through the veil. I do like that because it's not literally a veil from my understanding. I've been looking into that recently actually, but it's not necessarily a veil. You just see what we typically do not see. And to be honest, you kind of, the more you see, I would recommend protection. Now, I don't want you to be afraid, but there are many good things out there. However, there are also things that are not so good, and because you're just learning, you're just developing these gifts, you're gonna need more protection, because you're going to start seeing more, and it's almost like you are shining a light in the dark. It's like I equate when I'm explaining this, I always mention the scene from Insidious 2, maybe. But in this scene, the main character, this guy, I forgot his name. He kind of goes into the other world. I think someone hits his head, and like he's kind of in between, and he goes into the spiritual world, right? Most of the things he sees there are bad, but my point is that when he goes down there, he has a lamp. Is it a lamp? Like, fuck, I don't remember the name, but he's holding a light. Let's say a light down there. And the other spirits, they're in the dark. So when they see the light, they kind of rush towards him. Maybe not necessarily to hurt him, but they get closer. So it's kind of like a moth to a flame type of situation. So you see it more. There are more things that are going to try to get closer to you. And not all of them are guaranteed to be good. So, you know, it's a forewarning. And I think it's fair to say it as, you know, me having seen a lot and shit going down, because I didn't have anyone to guide me. So I'm kind of want to spare you from that if I can. So you got cold, soul gifts, soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. You are in training. You are fully in training. So yes, it's getting more intense because they're increasing your training. You are learning more. It's your third eye is opening, and you're kind of almost right there. So like, there's that doorway out into the galaxy. So you're almost there, and it's scary, honestly, because the unseen can feel threatening, especially if you're not used to seeing it. Some beings look scary, and they're not evil, they just look like that. Because as humans, we kind of feel afraid when we see things that we're not used to seeing, or we see things that are not like us, and there's this fear that comes with it because you don't know what this thing is going to do. So there's fear, a certain level of fear that comes with that, and that's okay, it's normal. But literally, you got soul gifts and training, gift from God. So you have so many. Like, I can't even focus on one. Mostly it's your sight. For you specifically, there's something else that I'm seeing here. You may actually start, if you haven't done this already. I feel like you have, though, but I'm going to say start in case that's not the case for you. You may lucid dream a lot, and you may have gotten to the point where you astral project. Now, it is my understanding that pretty much everyone can astral project, but it's more difficult for some people than others. Some people require intense training. Some people do it spontaneously. So it's different for everyone. But for you, I feel like you can astral project a lot. And this is, again, when the protection that I mentioned came in, because the 9 of Wands, I see it in a way as protection. It's putting up this wall of wands in front of you to kind of keep yourself protected. I kind of see the 9 of Wands as a card that means I'm scared, I'm exhausted, but I have this wall up, so you're not coming through. It feels like that. So I emphasize that the protection is very important for you right now. And this is just a forewarning, so you can look into different types of protection. I always, there's this source called Learn Religions Together. They have a lot of stuff on spirituality, and I'm pretty sure they have several, if not one, they have several articles talking about protection and the things you can do to protect yourself. So yeah, look into that, or just do it in the religion or whatever belief system you come from. It's okay. The point is that you are protected. It doesn't matter how. Okay. Everything works if you believe in it hard enough. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you astral project, you're literally leaving your body, right? You're going places, and one of your spiritual gifts, it's literally gonna allow you, when it's developed, because I don't feel like it's developed yet, but you may be able already to astral project, to go into the astral dimension, right? and do things in there. Like, be fully conscious and do things. I don't know what things this could be. Talking to, confronting, or other spirits and or beings. It's very, I literally don't know how to talk about this because I have never done this to my knowledge, or at least I've done it like once, maybe twice, and it wasn't on purpose. So I don't even know how to describe this. The point is that you're going to be able to go into the astral and do things in there. I don't know what things, because I'm not sure how any of it works. So I only have a limited amount of knowledge on this, but you're going to be able to do that. And that's gonna come through very much through your site developing. So if it hasn't happened before, it may start happening, and that's why the projection is coming through. But if it has happened before, it's gonna increment. Like, it's gonna happen much more often, right? Like, the more your site develops, the more you're gonna be able to astral project almost on command. So it really is gonna depend. I wouldn't recommend just being like, oh, I'm gonna astral project and just doing it if you're not ready. Like I said, there are things that are not good. Some things are good, some of them are not. Some of them look scary, and like, don't do that to yourself. So if you feel like you need a mentor of some sort, go ahead and do it. Really inform yourself, learn. Don't do shit just to do it, because I mean, one way to learn is through making mistakes, but I feel like many of us would rather not, but that's up to you. Let's see what else I'm seeing here. You have a little bit of everything, to be honest. You have that claircognizance, you have that clairaudience, most likely. Clairsentience, you may actually smell stuff, so clairolfaction, I think that's the name. My throat is so fucked up today. You may also, those are all the clairs, so you literally may have all the clairs. I mentioned the astral projection. Okay, so they're showing me something specific. So you may be able to actually at some point become a trance medium. Now, trance medium, it's, from my understanding, a little bit different from other types of mediums. Some mediums can just see people, dead people, other spirits, whatever, talk to them, and kind of channel them in a way and know exactly what they're saying, and etc., etc. Some people, trance mediums, like, from what I know, they literally, in a sense, how do I say this without it sounding fucking scary? It's almost like they get possessed. I have to say it like that. I have no other way of saying it. I have no other way of saying it. So, like, you could get to a point where that is a possibility for you. You do not have to do it. It may not be for all of you, but it is coming through, and I want to mention it. So you may be able to do that, which you have to be very careful going about that. But it is a possibility for you. And I think that it's related to that ability to astral project. So it's kind of like your soul, your spirit, detaches from your physical body a lot more easily than for other people, and that's why you're able to astral project. And I think that is what helps, that could help some of you come into this trance mediumship space, because it's so easy already for you to do that, right? But I'm not gonna encourage it or be against it. It's completely up to you what you do with this when the time comes. If you want to do it, do it. If not, don't do it. It's fine. It's a gift. It's not a shackle. Like, you can use it. You don't have to, though, right? So I don't want you to feel pressured into doing that. I want another card for you, though. What something else that they are, I was going to say that they're good at. What's something else that Pile 3 has as a psychic or a spiritual gift? There's another deck that's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. I just want more clarification. Those are too many. Let's go on. Just one. Ooh, okay, this one. The Forge. That's the Temperance card. Okay. There's, like, I feel like there is manifestation. And then there's the alchemy of it. So when I say alchemy, like, all manifestations, it requires a certain level of energy manipulation, because that's basically what it is. But when I think of alchemy, it's like much more advanced than manifestation, in my opinion. Like alchemy in like the historical sense, it was people that believed they could turn materials into gold or into other materials. So it's this gift, this ability to transform items and substances into something else that they're not in the beginning, right? For you, there's the ability to alchemize, and I'm not sure in what way they're talking about this. This could be something that you are able to do in the astral, something you may be able to do in your waking life. I am actually not clear on this, which is interesting. So even this, I think it's beyond my scope of abilities here. So maybe it's not exactly turning materials into gold. That would be fucking awesome though. I feel like it's more about you learning to manipulate energy to such a degree that you can basically do anything you want with it. Now that takes work. This is not something that goes like this. It takes work. It takes training. It's right here. So if you want to get to that point, you're gonna have to work for it. But you already have the gifts, and the fact that you have the gifts is what facilitates you doing more advanced stuff. But the strongest one is that clairvoyance, and specifically that ability to astral project pretty easily when compared to other people. Now with the unseen, I did mention this talking about the clairvoyance, but I'm also seeing like you, I mentioned the claircognizance, and this related to that. You may get the answer to certain problems or the facts about a given situation before anyone else knows, and you just see right through it. So you just know, or you immediately figure it out. You're very good at figuring out patterns specifically. Even if there's nothing that you can possibly form any like visible pattern, you see it, and I think it's because they're showing me literally threads of energy. So you are very in tune with that, and that's why I think that you could be able to manipulate them better and do everything that you do, because you're very, very sensitive to energy in general. So any thread of energy, you literally are going to follow it, maybe not even consciously. So you just can tap into basically anything because you're that sensitive to it. Again, there's that specific I guess danger that comes with it, but that's why you take steps for protection, so you are not in any type of danger and you're just comfortable. And this is not for the sake of fear mongering. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here, and based on what I know, I can always be wrong, you know, I'm human. So there's that. I think that's all I have for you. Yeah, that's what they say. They said like mainly this one, but like you have all of it, just do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. So that's what came through. So you have more than one that's very strong, but if you want to do other stuff, you're gonna have to work for it. But the important part is that you have the ability. Like you can, if you want to, you can. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do have my updates about the channel over there, and I also put out readings sometimes. Videos. What the fuck am I talking about? If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye bye.